I want to let you know the reason this came about. This workshop came about a few months ago. The seed was planted in my brain when I was doing an interview with another coach. And this coach started to suggest something that felt really uncomfortable for me. And as we were talking, she started to suggest that a partner should always support. In this case, we were talking about like husbands should always support their wives when they have a business idea. A husband should always just agree to it, go with it, let her follow her goal and her dream. And I am a big fan of families, of women, of moms, but I'm also not a fan of not having clear expectations and communication and boundaries. And I actually did not agree with that idea or that sentiment that a partner should just agree and go along with things no matter what, that is love. I came from the MLM world 8 years ago when I had my first baby. And one of the things I remember hearing so many times in trainings was that if your partner or if your friends or if your family did not support you, they did not love you. And I find this to be a harmful teaching and one that I want to peel back the layers and dismantle a little bit. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. We're going to be talking about how you can build a business with your family in mind, building a business that enriches your family life and not competes with it. I see some of you who are joining on Instagram, and if you're joining there, I put the link to the Zoom for this conversation in my bio, because I know if you're on Instagram, you're not going to be able to see the slides. But if you just want to listen in tonight too, you can send me a message and I can send you the slides afterwards. I know some of you are business owners over here, and I really want to get this in your hands too. So I am going to share part of my screen as we are talking tonight. Let me get it situated here and make sure that we can see. Okay. So tonight we're talking about building a business that works for your marriage. And if you are any of these, then you are in the right place. If you're someone who is not sure how a business will work with your family needs, hi, hello, you're in the right place. If you are someone who is trying to balance a business on top of all the other things that you're already doing, hi, hello, you're in the right place. If you are someone who is following others and trying to replicate what they're doing and it's just maybe not feeling right, not feeling authentic to you, then the chances are this is not good for your marriage and relationship because you don't know how to take that to your partner. Hi, hello, you're in the right place. If you are finding yourself on the phone or doing something really quick during your family time, if you're working on your business when it should be your family time, you need to be here. You need to be in this conversation tonight. And if you wish that your partner supported that little business idea you have, then hi, you're in the right place. Again, those of you who are joining on Instagram, I do want to let you know that this is coming up on Zoom. So we are having this conversation on Zoom with slides, with some background, and that is probably going to be the most helpful for you. Sorry, I'm gonna tighten this up a little bit, those of you here on Zoom. Awesome. Okay, so I am here because I know what it feels like to want it all. I know what it feels like to want a thriving business, to want time with my family. I know what it feels like to want fulfillment from building something meaningful in the world. Hi, Kelsey. You're amazing too. Thanks for being here. My journey, probably like yours, has had its moments of burnout. Woohoo, burnout, resentment, frustration, and the struggle to balance family and entrepreneur life. I have found things that do not work. So if you are in the starting stages, chances are I can save you a little heartache. I can save you a little pain. I want to share with you some things that just do not work. And I have found things that do work to bring your family in, to improve that connection, to make your business something that really does support your family and where you want to go. Because what I believe is that you want your business to work for you. You want your business to work for your family, and they don't have to be in competition. So tonight we're going to be talking about ways you can do that. Now, I am here because I strongly believe that women's voices and women's leadership and women's passion matter. Whatever you have planted in your heart and your soul and your brain, it matters. And hell, it might even be what saves the world. The collective passion, energy, excitement, leadership of women is what we need to change the world. But too many times, we know women's voices and ideas are stifled more so than men's because of so many things, because of society expectations, ingrained beliefs, the logistics of womanhood and motherhood. So we might not be able to throw over the patriarchy in this workshop. Maybe we can, but we can find ways to dismantle it little by little in our own homes, our own lives, and see how that creates better opportunities for everyone. I truly also believe that good men are not intimidated by dismantling the patriarchy as well. They benefit from it just like we do. So what's important to you? If we cannot answer this question, we cannot go any further. So if this is you and you're like, I don't know how to answer this, then please pause. Please come back at a later time and watch the rest of this workshop when you're feeling good about answering this question. But what I'm guessing is that you want to build a business that allows you to have more time with your family. Probably so. You want a business because you want to contribute to your family's well-being without giving up your time with them. You want to follow your passion in life. You want to make an impact. You want to prove that you can do it. You want to be respected for your expertise. You are here because you want something and you have your sights set on something. And maybe it's just a germ of an idea. That's how we talk about really small things in our family. Maybe it's just a germ right now of an idea. Recently referred to as a concept of a plan. So maybe you just have a concept of a plan, or maybe you have a full-on business plan that's moving forward. But we want to leave tonight with some idea of how we evaluate our business, how we look at it, how we get our partners to understand our business and where we're going with that. So evaluations of your business should not just be about financials or outward goals. But if you're able to keep these core pieces front and center, you're going to know what success means to you. And then you're going to be able to get on the same page with your partner, which is going to be crucial. So what's standing in the way? This is always my question. When somebody has a goal, when I'm working with someone on something, I want to ask the question, what's standing in your way? Why is this maybe not working the way that you want it to right now? Or why are you in this place where you're looking for more opportunities to grow? There are a lot of things. These are going to look different, but I want to share some things that I see as common themes. And again, hello, if you are joining on Instagram, I did put the link to the Zoom in here if you want to join and see the actual slides. First of all, in the day and age where we have this narrative around being a boss babe, this can be really misleading, and I have seen this be really harmful. My main work is in supporting relationships and supporting parents, and I talk to a lot of expecting and new moms and parents. But there are a lot of people out there who are fabricating their success in hopes of recruiting other people into their business or their digital product or their affiliate marketing or whatever this is, so that they could reach their success goal. So it's really hard because we have to kind of mistrust a lot of information. We're mistrusting the system in a lot of ways because there's a lot of damaging narratives out there. I have personally been on trainings and known coaches who promote their courses or communities by making it look easy, but entrepreneurship rarely is. If you are an entrepreneur and you are on this call in any way, shape, or form, I think you're going to also agree. I'm going to stop my share for a minute. I think you're going to agree that it's not always easy. It's not always perfect. And that is what is a part of it. And so I want to give you, not a depressing look at things, but a hopeful look that like maybe you're not doing it wrong if this is hard. Maybe you're not doing it wrong if you're feeling discouraged when you talk to your husband or to your partner about business because you don't have all the pieces to present as beautifully and wrapped up as you thought you would. This kind of hype that we see right now in the like stay at home, boss babe, work for yourself, entrepreneur world can create a lack of clarity, and it can create a cycle of distrust and shame and frustration and resentment between you and your partner when things don't go the way you may have been promised or the way that you set your sights. Now, for others, they know the realities of the journey, but maybe there are no systems in place to account for the time and the energy needs of your business. If you feel burnt out and like it's impossible to add a business to what you're already doing, you're probably right. And you probably need ways to get buy-in and teamwork as a family to make space for you to grow. However, it's not fair to ask for that without clear understanding of what you're working for and evaluations of what is and isn't working. This is likely going to be hard to have your partner invested if you're not able to say, this is where I'm going, this is how I'm evaluating this, and this is how I'm keeping you in the loop here. Well, I've heard coaches say, I mentioned this earlier, I've heard coaches say that your husband, your partner should support every business idea and venture if he really loves you. I find that to be a harmful and toxic teaching that I've heard many times. Partnership is mutual respect, and mutual respect comes with understanding, communication, and boundaries. If that's what you want, tune in, stay here, let's keep going. If it's not, then this workshop is probably not for you. But if you're watching this somewhere else and you want to jump on Zoom, the link is in my Instagram, and also you should be able to find that over on Facebook. I'm not going to tell you that your partner should stop everything and support everything you want to invest in and try. Yes, they should support your goals. They should support your talents. They should be your biggest cheerleader and your biggest supporter, but they also have the right to expect clarity in your vision and the process to get there, because likely what's going on is a risk for them as well. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple of people that I've worked with that I've seen in these spaces, and we're going to kind of look at like what has gone well and what has not gone well. So Emily was a client of mine a couple of years ago. And to be fair, like I am not a business coach. I am a life and relationship coach, but oftentimes the moms that I work with are ambitious. They're excited. They have ideas. They maybe have made a career transition, but they want to really stay connected to their passions. And so I'm often working with people on how to integrate a business into their life and into their family. So that was true for Emily, who was a client of mine a couple of years ago. She launched her own small business with the dreams of running it from home while her kids were little. We hear about that dream all the time. But soon, Emily found herself working more than she wanted. Adding this to an already full plate led to burnout and missing the moments that she wanted a business to be a part of. Like she wanted a business to have these sweet moments with her family. And when we were talking one week, she's like, I am starting this, I'm doing these things, but this does not feel good for me and my family. Her partner was feeling resentment because he didn't understand why she was dedicating so much time, especially when they weren't seeing the financial returns that they were hoping for. She kept seeing these Instagram accounts that seemed to have it all together. So a lot of our work was like, babe, we've got to stop following these Instagram accounts. We've got to stop going to places that make us feel unworthy or like we're doing it wrong, because there are a lot of voices out there that make entrepreneurship seem easy breezy, beautiful for moms, for women. And that's just not always the case. So this client, Emily, is feeling frustrated. Not only is she burnt out, her partner is feeling resentful. And now, when she's opening social media, she's seeing these accounts that seem to have it all together. They kept saying how easy it would be to make money as a new mom. She's feeling self critical because it's not falling into place for her. Here's what we found was missing. I hope that if you relate to any of this, this part is going to really help you. Here's what we found was missing. Number one, boundaries around work time and family time. Emily started her business to fit it into the cracks of her schedule. But what she didn't do was fit family time, like intentionally reserved boundary family time into the cracks of her schedule. So she saw everything as a crack in her schedule, and she might be half here, half there, trying to get this done while also being with her husband. Like that just wasn't working. So she did not have those boundaries around work time and family time. Second thing that was missing, she did not have reasonable projections of business growth and income timelines. Okay, so she had never really laid out her business plan to think about what was success and what kind of growth should she anticipate. So when she got really excited seeing all these things on social media about these moms that said they were bringing in $100,000 in 20 minutes a day during their kids' nap time, she got really excited, right? And without a very clear, reasonable projection and idea, she just kept giving it more time and more time and more energy. And this was really causing some frustration in her marriage. She didn't have agreed family processes around the home and childcare. So in this case, Emily was feeling like if I'm adding on this business, it's just going to have to fit into everything else I'm doing. And guess what? That did not work well for her. Let's look at Sarah. I'm going to give you another case, and then maybe you'll, if you identify with Sarah, see some of the things that are missing. I really just want you guys to have moments where you're like, oh, that's what's missing, or that's something that's missing that I can take a next step on, that I can work on. One thing interesting with Sarah is her family doesn't need her income. Okay, so they do just fine on her husband's income, and they have ever since she left her job after having kids. So she's not doing it for the finances. She wants it. She wants to connect with her purpose. She wants her own money. She wants to prove herself outside of the home. And it's not that she's unhappy as a mom. Sarah was just craving more energetically, and she wanted to see what she could give back to the world. So Sarah found the business to be a point of friction in her marriage because her husband, she was married, her husband didn't understand why she wasn't happy as a stay-at-home mom. And she wasn't sure how to explain this without getting flustered and defensive. And it became like the elephant in the room that they didn't talk about much. And it made it feel like there was this big gap between them. And so we started to work on how their intimacy was impacted by this, their connection, the conversations that they had. So many pieces of their life started to be impacted by this because it felt like this gap between them, and it became an elephant in the room that impacted so many things. I always say the reason I work with people on their relationships with one another, with their partner, and also their relationship with their self is no matter what you do, those really close personal relationships, your husband or wife, partner, your kids could be in there, and also with yourself, those impact every other bucket of your life, your work, your social life, your hobbies, your confidence, like all of these things. And those things externally also impact your relationship. So that is why I'm so passionate about helping people in those areas. So what happened here with Sarah is that we figured out what was missing for them. She did not have a clear mission statement for her business. So she just knew she wanted to help people. She wanted to have a business. She wanted to provide something, but she didn't have this clear mission statement, which was hard for her husband, who's very like logistical and business driven. She also didn't have the clear evaluations of what was and wasn't working financially, but also with her time and her resources. And so for her husband, the biggest thing wasn't about whether or not money was coming in, but the time that a business was taking and how to justify that during a chaotic season. And also she really did not have a lot of her personal value as a mom detached from her performance. And I actually see this a lot with achievement driven women, is that if they take a break from the career place, they can struggle with feeling detached from those performance metrics. And so that is something that really pulls them into starting a business, but without having that personal value in themselves, they're just chasing it somewhere else. And this still creates some stress. If you're watching on Instagram and you are not seeing the slides right now, shoot me a message. I'll send you this recording after we're done. I think that will be really helpful for you. Although, the listening right now is helpful too. So let's look at entrepreneurship versus 9-to-5 life. I know some of you here, because I'm looking at some names here, some of you are people who are a 9-to-5 and entrepreneur. Some of you are just entrepreneurs. And I think a couple of you are just 9-to-5ers right now who are thinking about an entrepreneur life. So I wanted to kind of look at some of the differences and where these stressors can come up. Unlike in a 9-to-5 job where you have set hours, predictable check, a job description, someone to manage and make sure you're doing the shit that needs to get done, entrepreneurship leaves all of those things in your hands. So that is freedom, yes, right? Like we want that freedom, but it's also a whole new load of things for your brain to care for and stay disciplined about. I am not a traditionally really disciplined person. And this has probably been the hardest part, is that I don't have someone with telling me what to do to earn my check, telling me what to do to keep my business growing, telling me what to do to keep my job. And so as an entrepreneur, that can be a whole new set of challenges. If you love and enjoy the work that you're doing, the excitement may also make it hard for you to have boundaries. Like we hear this phrase, like, if you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. But also, like, if you love what you're doing, you might not ever rest a day in your life, or you might not ever slow down and be really present with your people a day of your life. So you want to make sure that you have both of those things in mind, that loving the work that you're doing doesn't mean that you are, constantly in it. We've got to have boundaries. Without clear communication, your partner might start to question the time and money you're investing. That is leading to tension and frustration. This is even more critical for couples to be aligned in entrepreneurship, I find. Hey there, if you're just joining, I will finish out, but I will catch you up by sending the recording afterwards. So I see that these communication patterns are even more important for those in entrepreneurship because of all of these moving pieces. And if you are on Zoom and you have questions, comments throughout, this is just a quick reminder, you are more than welcome to use that chat box, okay? Now, I want to move into sharing about another client, Jenna. I met her when she was about to throw in the towel on a big dream of hers. So this just feels so precious and tender to me. I don't think every business idea is a good one. I don't think everything should be continued, but also we could tell it wasn't over for Jenna. She knew business. She had worked with a business coach, but she was burned out and disconnected from her family after her first year, which is how she found me in the life and relationship coaching sphere. We worked together to do a couple things, and these are some things that I think can be helpful for you too. We worked together to create streamline systems for her business so she wasn't glued to her phone the whole time. We worked alongside her husband to set clear boundaries around business and home life. By the end of our time together, her husband could recite her business mission because it became part of the family that was there to enrich and not take away from the family. And once he understood the long-term goals and vision, he became her biggest supporter. Now I'm seeing them as a team, not only in the business and in work, but in childcare, in their home, in their social life, and beyond. One thing I love about building in new mindsets and systems The reason I really believe so strongly in coaching is because it becomes something you can apply to so many areas of your life. If you are coming into something wanting to talk about boundaries and systems and communication in one area of your life, guess what? You get to focus on that in real time, but then you get to apply that to other areas of your life because you have expanded your skill set. So this is something I love for Jenna and her husband, because it started with business. It started with business. We got into the burnout, we got into the communication, and we got into how to make that better for them. So I hope you can see yourself in that. And I also want to say you probably hear some background noise for me because my family is here. Building a business with a family sometimes means that you are in your office upstairs, and your kids and your family, they try to be quiet, but they're still wrestling maniacs and they're loud sometimes. And that is what I love about this new wave of business, is where we can be real about that. All right, so here's the reality. You're trying to build a business on top of doing it all. You're managing the household. You're taking care of the kids. You're keeping up with the day-to-day demands. And yet, despite all your effort, you still feel like you're falling short. What hurts really badly about this is when you feel like you're falling short in everything. You're like, well, I'm going to, do business. I'm going to be at home. I'm going to be a wife. I'm going to be a mom. I'm going to be this kick-ass boss. And when you are trying to do everything, you're still feeling like you're not doing anything good enough. Like you're not doing enough to be worthy of success. Man, have you been in a place? Because I think this is a really common theme where you want to prove your worth, or you want to really show the world what you have to offer. And so you go in, you get excited, and then you feel like there's nothing left. Like you are burning on both ends and you aren't doing anything well enough that you feel like you're really feeling worthy of success. If that is you, like we need some systems, boundaries, we need these things in place. Because the constant pressure leads to burnout. We've heard about some of my clients that have had burnout. And the constant pressure then leads to the burnout, leads to the sense of unworthiness, and we have another vicious cycle. But what if you could break the cycle by creating more streamlined solutions in your home? Okay, so whether this is implementing routines, delegating tasks, using tools to simplify your daily life, you can reclaim time and energy. And there are systems that will allow you to be efficient in your home and in your business so that you don't feel like you're stretched thin. Instead, you're able to thrive in both areas, feeling confident, deserving of the success you're building. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this and be like, okay, we have a 3-step, streamline your life solution and everything's going to be perfect and beautiful. It's not the kind of thing I would say, because I don't think that is true. But what I do know to be true is that making changes happens from really intentional decisions, and deciding to get really intentional about one of these problems and solutions is probably going to pay off in your stress levels, in your joy levels in your home. You're probably going to see it pay off in your business. So we have to find this place, like what hurts the most? What is causing the most stress? And that is where I want to encourage you to start finding solutions. I will say right now, and I'll get to this again, I am working right now, it should be done early this week, on a 7-day streamlining workbook where you can go through this with your partner and get clear about your values, about your priorities, and how to streamline some of the things that are happening in your home so that you know what deserves the time, what can go on the back burner, and what those priorities are. Again, for those of you who are just joining, I want to say I have a Zoom link here on Instagram in my bio if you want to see the slides that are going along with this. And if not, shoot me a message. I'll send them to you afterwards. Okay, the next problem is that your work is creeping into your family time. Like I have been here. And I'm not completely healed from this, right? There are still days where I'm like, oh, yeah, I need to take my own advice. I need to do this a little better, recheck, reset, be more intentional. The problem many of us face is that work starts creeping into family times. Those moments meant for connection are instead spent answering emails, checking notifications, or just mentally stressing over a to do list. It is so easy for the lines to blur when you're running a business from home as well. But this can create resentment and distance both in your family and within yourself. So, the solution here is setting clear boundaries that allow both your work and your family to get the attention they deserve. When you are intentional and efficient with your time, blocking out specific hours for work, and fully unplugging during family time, you can give each part of your life the focus it needs. And what's good about this is you can feel the joy of that moment. You can feel the energy of kicking ass on your work. You can feel the energy of being really present with your kids, and that compounds. That has a payoff. This not only helps you be more productive in your business, but also ensures that you're present and engaged with your family, leading to more meaningful moments and less guilt. I hear from a lot of female entrepreneurs. I mean, across the whole board, like no matter where you're working, what you're doing, I hear about guilt, mom guilt. This is a big word. And I think that a big part of this is when the lines are blurred and we don't know when and how we're fully showing up in these areas of our life we've chosen to make part of our life. So if you've chosen to, have a family, that's something that you want to prioritize time for. If you've chosen to have a business, you want to prioritize time for that, but you've got to have those boundaries around them. And then this last problem that I've been seeing is that your partner doesn't understand the vision of your business. And guess what's going to happen then? They're not going to be as invested, as supportive about it. They're not going to take it seriously. And that's okay. I mean, most of us don't take seriously something that we don't understand. And so this call out is like, it's up to a business owner to understand what the vision is and then to know how to communicate this. I don't know about you guys, but if my partner takes a job in an office, I want to know what the expectations are, what the hours are, what his job description is. And so we want to be thinking about this too for anyone who's going down the entrepreneur path. So if your partner doesn't see a vision for your business, they might question the time, the money, the energy that you're investing, or simply not understand why it's important to you. This disconnect will lead to isolation, frustration. We've got that R word again, resentment, as you feel like you're pushing towards something that they don't fully support. You might feel like you start to hold back part of what you're doing and part of your business. You might feel like you make excuses, or not excuses, but kind of like squish, oh my gosh, squimish around the realities of what's going on. I did not find a good word for that. But around the realities of what you're doing and what's going on in order to kind of paint just an easier picture. But if this is happening for you and you want to build a long-term business, you want to build a long-term relationship that's good, you have to get clear on why your business truly matters to you. What drives you? What are your goals? How does this business align with your life that you're trying to build alongside your partner? When you have that clarity, you can invite your partner into the journey, sharing your vision in a way that connects with both of you. By showing them how this business fits into your shared future, you help them understand the long-term benefits, which will foster more of a sense of teamwork and support rather than division. So I wonder, what does this look like for you? What changes when you implement systems and boundaries? What can you picture? What can you feel? I encourage you to think about when you first had an idea to start a business, whether you are someone who is in the concept of a plan of a business stage right now, or whether you're someone who has a business that's running, Maybe it's growing, maybe it's in that startup stage, or maybe you've grown and you've realized that it's not serving your marriage the way that you have wanted to. Let's go back. What did you picture? And what did that feel like? You know, we hear the words like freedom a lot, but freedom is different for everyone. So we can't just say to our partner, I'm building this business to create freedom for our family. Like what does that mean? Freedom to what? Freedom from what? We're all so different. We want to get really clear about that. What do you picture? How do you picture this business playing into your family life? What stage are you at now? And what's the next stage potentially going to look like? Again, when we have a traditional job with a job description, hours, expectations, employee reviews and evaluations, there's a little more to build on, a little more consistency here. So if you haven't built those kinds of things into your business right now, of course, it's going to be hard to communicate that, to get your partner on board, to have systems and boundaries that support it. Building a business that works for your marriage starts with the marriage itself. It's easy to focus on the business, thinking that success there will automatically create harmony at home. But in reality, the foundation really does have to be strong first. A thriving business is built on a partnership where communication is clear, communication is consistent, communication is honest. When you and your partner are aligned on expectations, values, goals, then your business can flourish without creating tension. And that is what we want, right? We want a business that works for our marriage. It's also about having confidence in each other, knowing that you're on the same team, working towards a shared vision. And this is true regardless of what your partner does. If they're a business owner, if they're working in a traditional job, if they're at home, like at every point, my family has been through probably every point of that, different kinds of setups. Teamwork is crucial at every single stop. And entrepreneurship is rarely a solo journey. So by strengthening the foundation of your marriage, you get to create a space to build a business that doesn't just work, but one that enhances your partnership and life together. When your marriage is solid, your business can grow in a way that supports both of you rather than driving a wedge between you. I know some of you that are on right now were not on at the beginning. And at the beginning, I said this workshop in particular was inspired by some conversations I had with other coaches who were talking about or kind of suggesting that your partner should just always gung-ho, be fully in on your business. And as a business owner who my business is in the business of marriage and relationships, I really don't agree with that. I think that there are a lot of times when business has created wedges in relationships. And it's sad, it's hard because it usually comes from a good place, from a well-intentioned place, because most people start a business to enhance their life, to enhance their family life. But what I see is that for some people, they've got to go back to get the marriage foundation solid. For some people, they're in those starter stages. And as much as we get really excited about new business concepts and ideas and and we're just going to spend all of our time like on Pinterest and Google and looking at everything. If we stop and slow down and make the foundation of our partnership and marriage really good, that's going to support the business growth in a whole different way. That's going to likely have less road bumps. As we wrap up today, really my goal, I hope that you resonate with a story, with a solution. And you're like, okay, I know what next step I'm going to take. That's what I want for you to just be like, this is the next step. This is the thing I'm going to focus on. This is the area we really need to work into. And I also just want to extend an invitation for you to explore how personalized relationship coaching can further and improve your journey. So if you're in a place where you're feeling that tension, things maybe haven't gone great, or you're in the early stages and you really want them to go great, I want to help you to build a business that aligns with your marriage. It is a dynamic process. It has a lot of moving pieces. And sometimes having an experienced guide can make all the difference. If you find that the strategies we discussed today that I shared through this resonate with you, but you need more tailored support, more personalized support, then I would love to help. Let's work together. Deepen your communication, strengthen your teamwork, ensure that both your business and your relationship thrive. So this week I am offering I haven't tried this before, so we'll see how it goes, but I am offering a 20% discount on my coaching services for those who are small business owners or want to have a small business, because I know from my own life that business takes investment. It takes money. And sometimes that's a tense point. And so I want to be able to offer a little kickback to say, like, go you as a small business owner. Here's an extra, bump or incentive. So I hope that this feels like a good opportunity to take actionable steps towards your partnership if that is something that is on your radar, and you want to create that future where your marriage and business flourish together. Schedule a free call with me. I'll put that in the notes. I'll put that in the follow-up email. You can find me on social media. I'm always happy to support you in those calls. I am asking you questions. I'm getting to know where you are and where you want to be. And I'm going to say point blank, frankly, whether or not I think that coaching can help you get there. I'm never going to say that you should have coaching if I don't think I can help you reach those goals. I like to be ethical and do things right. And I want my clients to be really happy with the work we do together. So if I don't think that I can help you get there, I'm going to help you find someone else who can. But either way, if you're in a place where you want some help or you want a next step or you're ready for the next season of growth and awakening in your life, then coaching can be an awesome route to get there. And if it's not me, I'll help you find someone that can help you get there. And if that is not something you're looking for, but you do want a starting place, as I mentioned earlier, I am putting the finishing touches right now on a streamline bundle for you to DIY, streamlining your relationship. So it will have guided outlines to get the conversation and planning going into a helpful place. And I went back and forth on this, but since this is a business chat, I'm going to give you guys a little behind the scenes. I went back and forth on this because I'm like, this could be a free resource. I offer lots of free resources and I really want people to get streamlined. But something I've noticed is that people consume free content, but they put things into action when they have an investment in it. I think, that's me. That's true for me. I can get free courses and free emails and free workshops and free downloads. And then I just struggle. They're on my computer. I don't always get to them unless I have a really, really strong drive to do it. But the accountability of saying, I'm going to put some money into this, I'm going to put some skin in the game, it's proven over and over again in my business and also just, people I talk to about making things happen. So I am going to have this available this week, this $15 streamlining bundle to help you create some systems in your home and family and free up some of that energy. And I also always want to leave you guys with a starting point. So this is a question you can talk about tonight, tomorrow, sometime this week with your partner. I want you to get on the same page about your goals and the broader vision for your family and business. So I have 2 questions. You can screenshot this. I'll be sending the recording of this so you can go back to it. But the first question to consider is, what does success look like to you, both in our family life and in my business? How can we ensure we're working towards that? Okay, so I want you to have a way to be working together. I never like ending a workshop without here's the next thing you can do right now to make improvements. Next question, what are your biggest concerns about the time or energy I'm putting into the business? How can we address those together? So if your partner has concerns, don't be defensive, don't be scared of that. Get curious. Ask them the question. What are your biggest concerns? How do we work together on those? This is important to me. This is important to me because blank. But I also want to hear what's concerning so that we can address things and work together. And then one more question option for you, or you can do all 3. What's one thing you think we're doing really well as a team when it comes to balancing our home life and my business? And what's one thing we could improve? So, again, we want to open the door to recognizing strengths while fostering a constructive dialogue on areas that may need adjustment. So those again will be in the recording, the follow-up email. Those of you on Instagram, hello. I'm like waving between my phone and my computer here. But those of you on Instagram, hello. I know you cannot see the slides for tonight's presentation. So I encourage you to send me a DM, whether you're watching this now, whether you watch the replay, and just ask me. I'll send you the recording that has the actual slides with it so you can get the best in everything out of this workshop as possible. So I am going to take that time to wrap us up. There's a few resources on there as far as website, Instagram. I have a free Facebook group called Better Relationships After Baby. I also have a podcast named Better Relationships After Baby. If you've listened to it before, please do me a huge favor and leave a review if you liked it. If you didn't like it, you don't have to leave a review. Just kidding. I love honesty here. So if you don't like it, leave a review and tell me, because I want to hear why. If you haven't listened to it, go find Better Relationships After Baby. We have a new episode coming up this Tuesday. Episodes drop every Tuesday. This week, I'm going to be talking about building couples friends, which is just, a topic that I think is important no matter where you are in your relationship, and also becomes really important as a business owner, because you can get so into your business and your networking and, the people that you meet through that. And that gets to be a bucket of your life that you really love and enjoy. But we also want to make sure that you're having friendships that you and your partner share together, and you kind of grow together, and you have these people in your life. So check out the podcast. We're going to be talking about that on Tuesday. So I'm going to stop my share here. Let me see. Stop sharing. I'm going to check the chat. I don't think I see anything going on there. If you have a question, comment after this, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, Chelsea Brooke Skaggs, or in that Better Relationships After Baby Facebook group, or via email. I'm going to be sending this out via email as far as the recording. And I'll also let you guys know when the Streamline resource is finished up. I really wanted to finish it this weekend, but I just had boundaries around our family time, and we had excellent family time, and it felt really good and empowered in my decision not to work on a resource and to save it for Monday, to save it for the time I have carved out for work. So boundaries, sometimes they're hard, but I find that they're really helpful. And it just helps you to get your shit done when you have the time to do it. So watch this again. Let me know what you think. If you have questions, comments, anything else coming up for you, I want to hear more about it. I'm probably going to replicate this workshop a few times for different communities. So if there's something that was really helpful, please let me know. If there's something that was left out, let me know. I want to make sure that we're able to, grow businesses that are leaning into their passion and their purpose, and doing so in a way that supports those marriage and relationships. So love you guys. Thanks for being here. And I will talk to you guys later.